Hi, this is Robert Bottaraco reporting for InfoWars with what I consider to be an emergency report about the Federal Reserve printing $40 billion a month. Okay, this is called QE3. What they're doing is they're purchasing mortgage-backed securities from the global mega bankers, but it's not just mortgage-backed securities, it's anything they want. So in other words, it's nothing more than a money transfer of $40 billion a month to the corrupt fascist global mega bankers, and that money goes to them so that they can purchase non-GMO food and store it, so that they can buy luxury items, so that they can control the editorial policy of any media except the media that the NSA will soon be censoring. Okay, so that, and in addition, as Ron Paul has pointed out, this printing enables the government to pay for all its programs. So in other words, it pays for the police state, it pays for abortion on demand, you know, it pays for all the immoral things, you know, in the world that are going on. And so what we want to do is not pay the tax. Now, interestingly, this is a tax we can actually avoid paying, and that's why this is an emergency report. Okay, you know, if you don't pay your other tax, the IRS will basically take all your property and put you in prison, right? But this one, we can actually get out of paying because we don't have to hold dollars. Okay, first we have to understand this. When the Fed prints, it's a theft against anyone who owns dollars. Say there was only $10 in the world and the Fed printed 10 more. Then the dollar, each dollar would buy half as much. So it would be as though the Fed just stole half your money. So that's what they're doing by printing dollars. Okay, but we don't have to hold dollars. We have other options. We can hold precious metals, gold and silver. We can hold commodities. We can hold, like, for example, wheat futures. We can hold real estate, and you can get an FX account and hold some other currency. Okay, you can do anything, but don't hold dollars. You can even put your dollars into shorting the dollar. Just something I'm considering doing is shorting the dollar. So then your dollars are actually, you get double. It's like a double inverse there. In fact, you could double inverse short the dollar if you wanted. Okay, so the moral imperative. If you don't want to be paying for abortions and paying for the police state and paying so that the global corrupt fascist mega bankers can buy GMO and force you to eat GMO, the moral imperative is to not hold dollars. So let me just go through some high points of this article quickly, because it takes me too long to upload these videos. Okay, basically this is going, the rest of the world uses the US dollar to conduct international trade. By printing so many dollars, they're going to quit using the dollar to commit to engage in international trade, which means that the dollar is going to really go down when that happens, and that's going to, you know, basically lead to an economic crisis. Okay, Ron Paul, he says it means we're weakening the dollar. He gets straight to the point there. We are trying to liquidate our debt through inflation. Okay, we're trying to liquidate our debt through inflation. You know, Ron Paul's just like one step away from, you know, the complete truth of the matter, because actually the global mega bankers don't care how much in debt we are. Basically, they're just stealing our money so that they can destroy us. Okay, but Ron Paul is close. Okay, Peter Schiff, this is a disastrous monetary policy. It's kamikaze monetary policy. Yeah, this is the nuclear option. Number 3, this is the nuclear option. Number 4, Donald Trump, people like me will benefit from this. Number 5, it's just a regressive tax. Number 5, it's a regressive tax. Number 6, the Fed's just propping up the banks. Number 7, this is going to lead to systemic crisis, which reminds me of some of my friends. I can get my friends to admit that the financial system in America is going to collapse. Ask anyone, oh yeah, it's going to collapse. And then what? They go and watch football. Okay? They're admitting our system is going to collapse, and then they go and watch football. Okay? Our culture is decadent. That's an example of the decadence of our culture. And the men who say that who go watch football, even though they know that this is going to lead to the collapse of our system, they're not men. Next. I think this will end up being $1 trillion commitment by the Fed. It's way more than $1 trillion. It's way more than $1 trillion, because by the time they print $1 trillion, they'll have to print $10 trillion to print the next trillion. In other words, because of the devaluation of the currency. And it's ongoing, and it may be more than $40 billion a month anyway. It may be as much as $85 billion a month. Bernanke. Why would we listen to Bernanke? He can't predict anything. This is one of the problems. The media, the mainstream media, they sit there and listen to what Bernanke has to say about the economy. He said what he says should be more irrelevant than anyone. I have a better record predicting the economy than him. There's many people that have really good records predicting the economy, like Ron Paul, Peter Schiff, and so on. Anyone can predict the economy better than Bernanke, so why would we listen to him at all? And number 10, credit rating agency. Credit rating agency, they're lowering the credit of the U.S., basically. And this is going to reduce the value of the dollar and so on. Okay, so this is Robert Badaracco reporting for InfoWars. Remember, this is a moral imperative. Do not hold dollars.